Duke Eclipse presents the Horror Hideout Podcast, a podcast covering everything horror, including books, comics, and movies. Presented by Dawson Duke and Kayla Bullock.
Welcome back.
Today's episode.
Before we get into today's episode, we made a mistake on the end of last episode,
Yes.
so let's talk about that. Because we missed an episode with us being sick, we're not doing Hatchet.
We will do it eventually. We're just not doing it.
So after Becky, which is what we're doing today, we'll do our game day and then the 6 Leprechaun movies.
Yes.
So we wanted to do those in March, so Hatchet will move out. But anyway, so today is 2020.
We will be getting to Hatchet at some point, just not yet.
So today is Becky from 2020. Stars Lulu Wilson and Kevin James. And I want to do the spoiler-free review on this one because I never do them because I'm always afraid I'm going to learn something. All I'm going to say on this one is it's a horror Home Alone. I think I saw that somewhere a long time ago, and I'm like, that is perfect. So I am really excited about this movie. I watched it last night, obviously, but so it's only the second time I've seen it. But I loved this movie.
I will say I do think comparing it to Home Alone, I think a better movie to compare to Home Alone would be like the Home Alone inspired scenes from Violent Night. I feel like that's more like realistic Home Alone than this would be Home Alone. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what?
Violent Night.
So you wouldn't call this like a horror Home Alone?
No, I would, but it's kind of.
That's what I think it is. That's what I would refer to it as.
Well, it kind of, but I mean, it's my thing with this is a lot of Home Alone is like him protecting the house, and that's the whole thing. And this is more her going after them. Is the only thing I would say, but yeah, I mean, it is pretty close.
Yeah. So, I
also just wanted to bring up Violent Night because I really like that movie.
I have a very big.
They're making a second one that's coming out, I think, this year.
I know. I saw
anyway.
That. And speaking of that, there's also a second Becky, which neither one of us have seen.
Which is The Wrath of Becky.
Yes, which we want to, but we didn't want to before we talked about this one. And then yesterday, when I was doing some research, it looks like they're actually working on a third one. So, and I thought that the main girl in this one, the girl that plays Becky, her name's Lulu, I thought she did a fantastic job. So, we start out and...
we have a montage.
Yes.
It's switching between a prison and a school and basically showing how they're the same thing.
Pretty much.
So, what did I write there? Oh, I wrote that Kevin James is a prisoner.
So, in prison, we've got Kevin James, who his name is Dominic, and he's kind of the leader of this group.
Yes.
And then there's Apex, and Apex is,
big.
Probably 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
I mean, big guy.
Yeah. He made me think of like Andre the Giant's character in Princess Bride, like that kind of.
Yeah. And then there's Cole.
Yes.
And Hammond.
I don't think I caught Hammond's name. I knew the rest of them.
He is the one that's like sitting at the kitchen table.
I know who he is because he's the only one I didn't catch the name of.
So they're in prison, and then like Dawson said, we've got this montage of between school, and so we're seeing Becky at school compared to prison, and she's in class, and the secretary comes over the speaker and says, "Send Becky." I don't remember what her last name is. Down to the office. Her dad's here to pick her up. So her dad, his name is Jeff, right? That's her dad. Yeah.
I think I just called him Dad the whole time.
Played by Joe McHale.
Who's been in some other stuff.
Yes.
But I don't remember what it was. I did research, but that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he looked really, really familiar. He was in It's a Wonderful Life, which I did.
Yes, yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of that one. So anyway, they don't have a very good relationship.
Which is funny because that's kind of the same dynamic we had last week, but they're entirely different.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have a bigger juxtaposition.
No. And so we find out too at some point, and I don't think we know, which you kind of get the impression, but we find out through other kind of flashbacks that Becky's mom has passed away. She was really sick
Yeah.
and she passed away.
And we do see at one point Becky shoplifting.
Yes, they're on their way to the cab. They're on
Yeah.
their way somewhere, and Becky doesn't know where they're going. And they stop at a
And
gas
I
station.
think it's gummy bears or worms she asked
Yeah.
for, and then her dad says no, and she puts them in her pocket.
Yeah, because he says you've never liked those before. So.
And she watches a video of her mom.
Yeah. And so.
And I think that's how we kind of find out she's dead.
Yeah. And so we pull up outside of this cabin, and Becky's like, "How dare you bring me here? I don't want to be here. You know, you told me you were selling it." And he's like, "That's why I brought you here. I want to tell you I'm not getting rid of it." It's a very pretty cabin, and there's woods, and there's a lake, and Becky has a tree house out in the woods.
And okay, are these dogs, are they the dad's dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was kind of confused at first because I didn't realize there was two separate dogs.
Yeah,
but there
Dora
is.
And Diego.
Yeah. I know, I got that, and I wrote that down. But I just mean, like, at first, I just thought there was one dog.
Well, Diego, when they first pull up, Diego is down by the lake.
Yeah.
So we just have Dora.
So
Becky's super excited that they're not selling the thing, and I think she's even giving him a hug. And then another car pulls up.
And we meet Kayla and Ty.
Yes, and Kayla is Jeff's girlfriend, which I kind of had an issue with that, because Mom's only been gone a year.
Do they say that? I didn't.
Yeah. Well, at one point he says something about it's been a rough last year or something. But yeah, I thought that was a little quick, but...
Well, you saw how fast my dad rebounded.
So...
And look how that worked out.
So, Kayla and Ty pull up, and Becky's just mad that they're there.
Yeah.
And she's not being very nice to him, and so Jeff's like, go down to the lake and get Diego. And then in between this, we flash back to Dominic and his crew are being transported somewhere in a armored truck, and Apex kills one of the other prisoners. And so Dominic is like, hey, we've got a problem back here. And they end up breaking out of the armored truck.
And they end up stealing the uniforms of the people they killed, the, like, officers.
Isn't that scary to think about,
yeah,
though? Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you play, because, okay, so they steal their uniforms, and then they walk up to this car.
Yeah, they stop a car.
And, like, I mean, they look like police officers, and it's scary to think that could really happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean...
And we don't actually see it, but they kill a father and two kids here.
Yes.
Apex does.
Yes.
Because Dominic makes him, essentially.
Dominic is basically like their handler. Like...
Yeah.
And he even
They do everything he says.
He even tells somebody later on, I don't remember if it's Jeff or Caleb, but that he wasn't blessed with biological kids, but that these were his kids. I mean, they're full-grown men.
Yeah.
But... And I just want to say, Kevin James did an amazing job.
I think everyone in this movie did an amazing job. But
for Kevin James to go from the comedy stuff that he does to something like this, he did such a good job. It was so weird to see him bald, though, with the beard.
So we find out that Kayla and the dad are engaged. Mm-hmm. And Becky's mad and storms off with Diego to her, like, fort, I think they call it.
Yeah. I called it a treehouse earlier, but...
Yeah. It's kind of like a shed out in the woods.
Yeah.
With... It kind of... you say the Home Alone and you say the treehouse thing. It did kind of remind me of his treehouse where it's got the zip line.
Yeah.
Because she's got a zip line. Does it start with a zip line or does she make a zip line? I think it just has one because I think it's like a set zip line, like a nice one.
It was like what? Well, hers was like the sit-on kind, wasn't it? Instead of the...
I don't know. I think it's just the handles.
It's the round disc.
I don't think so. I thought it was the handles.
Positive it's a round disc because she sits on it when she kicks the one guy.
I didn't think she was sitting on it. I thought she just had her legs forward and was holding the thing.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter all that much. But so after Becky and Diego go to the fort, the doorbell rings, and Kayla answers it.
But Jeff went out to find Kayla or find.
Yeah, he kind of went after Becky.
Yeah.
But I think he figured out where she was going and just kind of turned back.
Yeah, but he's not in the house when the doorbell
No,
rings.
no, no,
Is
no.
what I was getting.
Yeah.
At. And it's Dominic at the door.
Yeah. And I think we kind of cut back to the dad, and you're like, oh, something happened to her.
Yeah.
But then when the dad comes back in, we kind of follow him, and Kevin is just saying he's there because he lost his dog.
Yeah, Dominic.
What did I say?
Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
And so Jeff asks what kind of a dog, and he says Cane Corso, and
does he?
Yeah, he does, and Jeff says something. He's like, no, that's what your dogs are. Like my dog's a Rottweiler, and he talks about how their dogs are purebred. Yeah. And so he just gives off this weird, creepy vibe, and Jeff's like, okay, you need to leave, like, get out of our house.
And then, is it Apex that comes in here?
I think so.
But anyway, Dominic ends up drawing a gun, and it's crazy to me because you just said the Kevin James thing. He is such a good actor in this movie, and you find out that they're part of the Aryan Brotherhood. These guys are, because he's got the Nazi tattoo, and They say do it for the Brotherhood.
See, and I that was what I was gonna say. My biggest issue with this movie is I didn't know. Obviously the Nazi sign's on the back of his head, and he's bald.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand what they were talking about with the Brotherhood.
Yeah, it's like the Aryan Nation, like the Aryan Brotherhood. It's like a. I mean, they're basically just neo Nazis. They're.
Well, why don't we have an explanation why the key was at the house?
We also didn't get an explanation what the key is for.
Right.
I wonder if we get that in the sequel.
I don't know. We're jumping ahead, way ahead.
So, where were we at?
He told him to leave, and then Dominic drew a gun.
So we cut back to Becky, and she's in her fort drawing, and poor Dora ends up getting shot by the two other prisoners in the woods, and
I don't know if you guys know, which they say they're not full-blooded cane corsos, but I have a friend who has 2 cane corsos, and these dogs are humongous. Like, they are beasts of dogs. She says hers are both really, really sweet, which I could see.
Yeah.
But
they're just big dogs.
Yeah.
So Ty and
Dora doesn't get shot yet, does she?
Ty and Kayla are outside, and they're yelling for Becky when they run into the other 2 prisoners in the woods, and they shoot the dog.
But doesn't Apex let them go?
The who?
Kayla and Ty. Is this when he let them go? Is that why they're outside?
I think so.
Okay. So we kind of have, so Apex, the big tall guy, he's kind of got a soft spot. Like he is supposed to tie Kayla and Ty up, and he tells him, he's like, take him and get out.
In my opinion, what happened with him is he probably, obviously he did something to get life in prison or whatever, but I wonder if it was something he did in a fit of rage or something like that, and he was remorseful for it, and he only joined the Brotherhood to protect himself essentially in prison.
See, and I don't think that's right, because later on when him and Dominic are talking, Dominic says, do you know how many days we've been, or hours, whatever it was, we've been in prison? So it was like they went to prison together.
I mean, they were in prison together. That doesn't mean necessarily they went in together.
I took it as whatever they did together.
Or maybe Dominic just talked him into doing something, and then that's how they all ended up in prison together.
But throughout the movie, Apex is like, I'm not hurting another kid. I'm not doing it.
Because he had to kill those 2 kids at the beginning.
So, like you said, Dora gets shot.
Yes.
And the 2 guys outside ask Kayla and Ty what they're doing, and
they were yelling Becky.
Yes, and she's like, we were looking for Becky, and they said, who's Becky? And she's like, the dog.
And Becky is watching all of this go down through her binoculars.
Yes. And so...
And she ends up having to quiet down Diego, because he tries to go out when Dora gets shot.
Yeah. And so they take Kayla and Ty back to the house.
And whenever they get in the house, they're like, oh, they shot Becky. And the dad starts to get up and is scared. And I don't remember exactly what Kayla says, but something along those lines.
She says that dog wasn't going to hurt you.
Yeah. And so the dad realizes that they were saying that Becky was a dog and it wasn't
Yeah.
actually. Which, good thinking. Like, I don't know if I would have.
I don't know if I would have
I
either.
don't know if I could have acted like that under pressure like that.
Yeah.
Um, which I really do like Kayla's character in this. Like, she's very understanding and, like, she's intelligent.
Yeah. I like her character too, and I can see like, obviously I don't have stepchildren, but I can see as a woman like it would hurt if, say, you were to get married and your wife didn't like me. I mean, that's a different relationship, but that would hurt as a
Yeah.
woman, like to not, or if you had kids and they didn't like me, and I mean, I think that your heart kind of goes out to her because she's kind of in a hard place.
So at this point, Becky ends up sneaking around and she spies into the house and she kind of sees the guys in there and everything. So she ends up sneaking outside her bedroom and she. I don't think she can reach her phone. Her bag's there. And I think she almost like starts to go for the bag, but instead she ends up grabbing a walkie-talkie because she hears someone coming. And so where was I at?
And her backpack, we see at this point, is glittery and it has her name on it.
Yes, it says Becky on it. And so Dominic comes in and finds Becky's phone and her bag. And he comes out there and is like, so if Becky's a dog, why does Becky have a backpack?
Right.
And a phone? And the dad's like, I'm not going to give up. I don't know if he says my daughter, but basically, I'm not going to give up my daughter. And
well,
so
he tells them that she is in Atlanta with her mom. And Dominic's like without her phone, and he says she's in Atlanta.
And then I don't know if it's here, but at one point he says, "Oh, she probably ran to the neighbors to call the police."
That's later, I think, because this is where they shoot Kayla.
Yeah. Oh no, she says that later.
Yeah.
Becky says that later, not the dad. Yeah. So
not Becky, Kayla.
What did I say?
Becky.
I said Becky?
Yeah.
What?
That Becky said she went to call the neighbors.
But yeah, Kayla she does later on the walkie-talkie. She tells them that.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
No,
I thought you meant Kayla.
But
mentioned it.
Yeah, Kayla gets shot through the knee here. They're like threatening him with the gun. He's not budging, so they shoot Kayla through the knee.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually through the knee, is it? I'm not semantics, but the only reason I say that is I think so, because the only reason I say that is because she walks so well. And I know it's a movie, but
I do think they say it's like a clean shot that went all the way through.
Yeah. I think it's like her upper thigh.
Yeah.
Or her thigh, I guess.
I just wrote knee, but
yeah. Well, I'm not arguing with you. I just
it shoots her through the leg, the upper leg.
Yeah.
So I literally wrote my notes. Becky says she called the cops, but she didn't.
And so, but Dominic has Apex wrap up Kayla's leg. He's like, I don't want her to bleed to death.
Yeah. Because I wonder, he probably thinks they know where the key is and wants to keep them alive to try and find the key.
But they have not, for people listening, they have not mentioned
no, they have
why they're there.
Yeah.
I mean, they have no idea why they're being tortured.
So so he says, "Oh, how did you call if I have your phone?" And she's like, "Oh, I went to the neighbors," and he knows the nearest neighbor is a half a mile away, and the kid's walkie-talkie.
Yeah, Apex says that the nearest neighbor is a mile away.
Dominic says a kid's walkie-talkie can't reach that far.
Yeah.
And they bring the dad outside and they light the fire. And I think, is it a fire poker or is it a weenie stick? Or
it looks like a marshmallow roasting stick.
They heat it up and they start torturing the dad. They're burning his face, and they're trying to get Becky to come out. And the dad tells her to run, and they just end up keep torturing him. And
which I think being stabbed would be bad enough, but to be stabbed with something that is on fire. Not on fire.
Do they stab him or do they just put it to his face?
Well, they do his face, but then they stab him in the side.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. I think that's what they do next.
Yeah.
Like here.
Yeah. But just for that to be hot metal and not, I don't know. Whew.
Do you know what exactly happens here? I just wrote Becky gets key.
So, has Dominic went and looked for the key yet?
I think so.
Okay.
He must have at some point.
So we see a scene where Dominic, I don't know if he's in the attic, I don't know where he's at, but
I think he's in the basement.
he
I
finds
think,
this little metal box, this little tin box, and he opens it
and it's empty.
and it's empty. And so he mentions that he wants this key.
Which kind of comes back to, which I know it's from her own house, but it kind of brings you back to the Becky shoplifting thing where she takes things that aren't hers.
Yeah. And so they ask Kayla and Ty and Jeff about the key, and they're like, "We have no idea what you're talking about." So he tells Becky, he's like, "I know you have my key."
So Becky's lurking around while the dad's getting tortured. Does she end up coming out, or does Dominic?
She doesn't
see her?
because Jeff tells her to run.
I know, but she gets involved here somehow.
Does she?
Does she come out with the key here? Because, okay, I wrote, Dad fights back and knocks guys down. And then he starts running.
Yes.
And then he gets shot dead.
Yes.
And Becky stabs the key into Dominic's eye. So I think she comes out to give them the key to save her dad. Yeah. And then he gets shot, and then she comes out and she stabs Dominic in the eye with it. Which is grody.
Yeah.
Especially later.
I mean, it was too late to give the key back because they killed her dad.
Yeah.
So.
And important thing to note here, I think it's around her neck. Yeah, she's got a string, so the key's around her neck. So after she stabs it in the eye and runs away, it's still on that string. So she did not lose. She didn't just stab it in his eye and leave.
Yeah, and it's a big key. I mean, it's not like a house key. It's like an old skeleton type key.
I wonder if in the second movie we find out what it unlocks.
I hope so.
Yeah, spoiler for the end of the movie, you never find out what the key's to.
Yeah.
Or for.
Or why it was at that house.
I think they say it belonged to her mom, but I don't think they ever clarify why or how. And maybe they don't say that, but I thought somewhere in there they said that it belonged to her mom. But I don't. Maybe they don't say that. I don't remember.
I didn't catch it.
So. Yeah, so they go back in the house, and his eye is just hanging out. And this, I don't know if you've seen this movie. If you have, you probably hate it. But have you seen Ridiculous Six?
Yes.
The Left Eye Gang?
Yes.
Where he has to pull his eye out. In that movie, at least, we see it in shadow. He pops his eye out, and you see it you see the shadow of it hanging and stuff. They see full on just see it.
And I think it's hanging like
all the way out
down to his chin.
I don't know how realistic that is, but they get like kitchen shears out and are trying to cut it. He's trying to get
kid scissors.
Is it?
He tells, I think it's Hammond that was sitting at the table eating. He tells him to find something to cut it with, and it's kid scissors because they're pink.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you're cutting through optical nerves and stuff, and they're not cutting through it.
And so Dominic just ends up taking them and doing it himself.
He gets a knife.
Is that what he does?
Chopping it off with a knife. But one thing IMDb says is that for this scene, the prosthetic proved harder to cut than expected, and the shot went on for a long time with him screaming and cutting repeatedly before he finally succeeded and then burst out laughing.
Okay.
I mean, he takes his eye and he lays it on a cutting board and just takes the knife, and then the eyeball rolls and ends up in the drain of the sink.
My thing is, if your eye gets stabbed like that, it's hanging out. Push it back in. Because it might be able to be saved. I know that's disgusting, but like if you get a finger cut off, you can freeze it and then you can potentially get it fixed.
But do you think that if you were stabbed in the eye like that?
I mean, I would just go to the hospital because I wouldn't be a criminal.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean, I don't think your eyeball would be intact like that, like his was. Like, I don't think you would just stab your eyeball and it would come out as an eyeball. You know what I mean? Because there's so much.
I get that, but at the same time, yeah, because the first layer of your eye is actually very thin, and it's almost like a jelly substance behind it. Yeah. You kind of have like an outer wrapping and then kind of like a jelly substance behind it. So.
So when your eye like deflate, I mean.
I would imagine, but even so, I feel like, even just for aesthetic purposes, getting your eye fixed would probably be.
Yeah.
Better, or having a professional cut it out if it needs cut out.
Right. But I just mean, like, from the movie point of view, like, I don't feel like it would be a perfect round eyeball. Yeah. Eyeball.
But I do think in general this movie has a heightened, like, it's still a heightened world, but it's not enough that it takes you out of it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, when he was trying to cut that with those kid scissors, like, that made me squirm.
Yeah.
There are two things that drive me crazy, and one of them is fingernails, and the other one is eyeballs. And I just was at the hospital a week ago with my friend, and she got bit by a cow, and they had to pull her fingernail off.
Ugh.
And they actually pulled it off and replaced it with a metal fingernail for now.
Huh.
So her fingernail will grow back. It
Yeah.
was weird. He explained all of it to us, but you want to talk about one to run out of a hospital room. Oh my gosh. Whew.
So I wrote orange camo goes into the woods. Would that be... That's Cole.
Yes.
Um,
And he's the one that shot Dora.
yeah.
But he's not really in, I mean, he's not in
He's
the
not
movie.
done a whole lot, yeah.
Yeah, he's not, him or Hammond really don't do a whole.
So Becky runs back into her fort, and Cole tries to follow her in there, and when he opens the door, he's met with Diego yelping, or barking in his face. I was trying to say yelling, and then I started to say yelp. It's not a little chihuahua yelping at him. So at this point, she's like, I'll come out in a minute, just give me some time, I'm getting the key.
He tells her if she gives him the key, he won't hurt her.
He says, I'll let you go, and I won't tell them. I'll say, I just found it on the ground and you got away.
Yeah.
Which again, it makes me kind of think that Dominic is kind of like a cult leader kind of person, where people are going to follow him, and he can kind of talk people into stuff, but they don't necessarily really want to be there,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like they're doing it because it's their best option, and it seems best for them.
Yeah. And I could see that because, I mean, like, obviously Apex could put him in his place really easily, but
Yeah.
he is kind of submissive.
And again, I mean, he's not like morbidly obese, but I mean, Dominic is a little like out of shape, and Apex is like this big like wrestler almost.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he reminds me, like you said, kind of Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
In Princess Bride.
Which that's one of my favorite movies. Nothing to do with horror, but Andre the Giant's character, I can't remember his name.
I can't either.
But that's the only action figure I have of a character from that movie. Okay, so
I actually have the illustrated storybook of that.
We get a quick scene, just kind of like flashes here and there, of Becky scavenging and making weapons.
Yeah.
So she like breaks a wooden ruler in half. She tapes a bunch of colored pencils together. I don't remember all what she does, but she does that kind of stuff.
She puts her hat on?
I think so.
She puts on it's not really a stocking cap, I guess, but like one of the kids' hats that looks like a fox, and it's got the strings in it.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a stocking cap, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it, but like it makes her look so much more innocent when she's got that hat on.
Have you seen Bob's Burgers?
No.
One of the kids in that, Louise, always wears pink rabbit ears.
Yeah.
And that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, I've seen like pictures
but
and stuff.
Hers are kind of more of like not Becky's are more of like a crochet type thing.
Yeah.
So she is like, oh, just wait a minute, and then she comes out on top of the fort, and this is the part we were talking about earlier where she kicks him in the chest.
Right. She says she's gonna throw him the key.
Yeah.
And she actually throws a Canadian quarter.
Yeah, which I think we saw earlier in the movie.
Yeah. And
like this movie has a lot of very good foreshadowing. Again, very tight script.
Right, and it comes back later too.
Yeah.
But so he's like, well, great throw or something, and he turns around to look for it, and she gets her zip line down.
Which, I know you have some control over where you throw stuff and stuff, but, I mean, she just threw it perfectly for him to stand right in the way of the zip line.
Well, he was standing there to begin with, I think.
Mm.
And he just turned around.
Yeah.
I mean, angle-wise, I guess where she was standing on the thing and where he was at, maybe she went up there on purpose so he was angled right.
Yeah.
I mean, but so she.
It's not a big thing. It was just I'm being nitpicky.
Yeah. So she ends up kicking him in the chest and stabbing him with
the broken ruler. Yeah.
Which I thought was a really cool weapon. Because
I think so too.
I mean, she's improvising with what she has,
and like I said earlier, we saw her drawing, so it makes sense she has all the art supplies out here, and we already kind of got acquainted with the art supply she had. So to see them turn into weapons is cool.
And she's 13, and
yeah.
So I mean, she's a pretty violent 13-year-old, but she's also angry. I mean, she lost her mom, she's lost her dad. Her dad just told her that they were going to get engaged, that he was engaged. Like, she's a very, and when we saw the flashback at school earlier, the montage earlier with school, she was picked on, she was made fun
Yeah.
of. So she's very angry, and I mean, one of the things on IMDb said this girl was 11 when she first read the script, and I'm like, she did a really good job. Um, but so she knocks him down. She stabs him with the ruler. I think she stabs him in the chest the first time.
And then I think she stabs him in the throat.
And then repeatedly in the throat. And I thought that the scene where he's laying there and the ruler is sticking out of his neck.
Yeah.
And they show kind of like a close up of the blood running down the ruler with that, like the ridge in the middle of the wooden ruler. That was just such a cool scene for me. I mean, it was obviously violent and it was bloody, but it was just such a cool shot in this movie.
See, and a lot of people have a problem with what's that movie? The Belko Experiment, the one where they all get locked down in the building, and because the trailers and stuff like the tape dispenser scene and stuff like that makes it seem like it's going to be like, oh, they're trapped in an office and they have to use office supplies to take each other out, and like, I think I don't remember if it's a guy or girl now, but one of them takes apart like a paper cutter and uses like the thing from it as a sword and stuff like that's so creative to me, and that's what people wanted from that movie, and it was not that because the whole building has an armory for some reason, so everyone's just using guns the whole time and it gets really boring. But I think like we talked about our Mayhem episode, they did a really good job of that, and this movie also does a really good job of like improvised weapons and that kind of thing,
and stuff that a 13-year-old is gonna have access to. I mean, hopefully your 13-year-old's not going to have access to, even if you had guns, they wouldn't be able to get to them. So I think it was really cool the way they did it. Does she oh, I was wrong. When she stabs him in the chest, she used the colored pencils, and then she stabs him in the neck with the ruler repeatedly. So Cole dies. And we didn't talk about this, backing up to the very beginning of the movie. When the movie starts, Becky is in the police station being interviewed.
Yes, I completely forgot about that, to be honest.
And they're asking her what happened to the guy in the orange camouflage shirt, which is Cole.
Yeah.
And then it goes into all of the, like the movie actually starts.
So we go back to the house, and we see some infighting between Apex and Dominic, where Apex is like, I don't really want to do this anymore. And this is the part where Dominic's like, do it for the Brotherhood.
Yeah. And Dominic has sent Hammond out to try to find Becky. Yes. And Hammond just seems kind of lazy, like he don't really want to do anything, because he's like, well, Cole's still out there.
Yeah, him and Cole were both kind of, I mean, not in a bad way necessarily, but they both kind of felt like characters that were just there to add to the kill count. Like, they don't really do much.
Well, I mean, Cole killed Dora, but...
Well, yeah, but...
Those two were the ones that were together in the woods earlier, but...
Yeah. They just don't have a lot of screen time or really do a whole bunch. But that's okay, you need some disposable characters.
I don't think her dad was a disposable character, though. I liked him.
No, I did too, but, I mean, it adds to the motivation in her acting. So...
I'm really excited to watch the sequel.
I am too. So Kayla spits in Dominic's face when he asks her to tell Becky to come back over the walkie-talkie. Yeah. And this is the part where we see Becky setting a trap on the dock.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about it?
So this girl is just smart. She takes fishing string and she wraps it around. So they have a dock, but it's got like a... kind of like a covering at the very end of it, so there's pillars.
Yeah. Does it have a covering, or are they just pillars that come up?
I thought it was like a walk. There was at the very end. There was a walk-through type thing.
I don't think there was. I just think the post came up above the dock.
Anyway, whatever. I thought there was like just a little overhang, but anyway,
I don't know. It's been a while. So I've only seen it once.
She wraps fishing string, and I was so excited when you watched it because you texted me and you're like, "This was awesome." But she wraps fishing string around the post to make it like a tripwire, and then she pulls up boards from the dock and flips them over so that when somebody trips, they would land on the nails.
Yes. So did you say that Hammond ends up doing that?
No.
So Hammond ends up falling for the trap, and he's got like a board stuck in his chest, I think, right?
Yes.
And
So
Becky,
she pulled up two boards. She put one of them down,
yes,
and the other one she has
yes. And so she comes after him and like stabs him with the nail part
in the head several
and
times.
knocks him into the lake before she jumps in the boat and backs over his head with the boat motor.
And he actually gets her at one
Or
point.
no, it goes through his chest, not his head.
We
Sorry.
thought that it was like he kind of got to her at one point, and then she knocks him in the water.
Yeah.
And he's like, help me, I can't swim." So she didn't really have to run him over with the boat. He was gonna drown
Yeah.
anyway.
I just think she was taking her frustrations out.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of scary.
But again, even if he can't swim, I think he was doggy paddling at the very least, so maybe he could have gotten far enough to shore and still have been a threat.
Maybe,
So
but
I, I like her because she's a smart protagonist. Because a lot of times in horror movies, it's the double tap rule that
yeah,
Zombieland created, which I think it's so funny because that's like such a well known thing now, and it's like a thing that people talk about all the time in movies. The double tap rule, and it all started with Zombieland, and a
yeah,
lot of people don't realize that that's where it
yeah,
comes from. It's like the whole "if you die in the game, you die in real life" saying is from like a really really crappy early video game movie where if you die in the game, you die in real life. That was
yeah,
like the tagline of the movie, and that's where it comes from. And people don't know that, and they use that all the time when they're
yeah,
talking about different things. And I think stuff like that's really cool, like the kind of the etymology of phrases.
yeah.
But
And I
anyway,
like it too because, and I was trying to think. We watched another movie the other night that I can't remember what movie it was, but I was really impressed because the girls were the smart ones.
yeah, I just
And
really like movies.
I don't mean that like the guys shouldn't be smart, but
Yeah,
like the girls were, and I feel that way with Becky. Like she can think, she's motivated, probably for the wrong things,
and
but
I will say I think this part with the dock trap is the closest to Home Alone.
yeah, probably. But so she gets out of the boat and she's
Which I think Hammond had found Cole's body, and then
yes, yes.
came to the dog.
And so then Apex goes out and he goes to the fort and he sees
Cole.
Cole. And so he goes out toward the dock. Well, in the meantime, Diego gets
Yeah.
out of the fort, and Becky and Apex kind of meet right on the land by the dock.
Yeah, they're kind of out in like this grassy field
Yeah,
area.
this is a beautiful location.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
beautiful place.
This movie is really beautiful, and again, it comes back to we've talked about this in the past. It's almost a bottle movie. I mean, not really, but it's all around this house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a bottle movie, but it's such a tight location. But there's so many beautiful things they have here and different environments they can show just in like this little area.
Yeah, and it's like you were talking about last episode, like with the mall and stuff, they missed opportunities to
Yeah.
use that, and I don't think they did in
No.
this movie. I think they really.
Which again, this movie was probably way higher budget.
Right, I'm sure it was. But so Apex is kind of going after Becky, and Diego goes to attack Apex, and he punches him in the head and kills him.
Diego?
Hmm.
He doesn't kill him.
Well, we think he's dead.
He throws Diego. He doesn't just punch him, he throws him.
Well,
I think he throws him into a tree, maybe.
and we think he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a tree. I think he just throws him because it's when she goes and gets him, he's in that open
Okay.
field.
I just remember him throwing him, but I don't remember. The tree thing, I'm probably getting confused with something else.
So he actually picks Becky up and like body slams her down on the ground, and he punches her in the chest.
Yeah.
And I think he's strangling her.
I think so.
And then he's like, I can't do this. I don't want to hurt any more kids. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna walk away.
He pretty much says he's tired of killing, but especially kids.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna walk away. You should too. And so he leaves. And then we hear Diego.
Yeah.
And so Diego's okay.
And so Becky and Diego go to Becky's dad's body, and she takes his keys.
Yes.
Which again, smart. I don't think I would have thought of that.
Yeah, and this scene's kind of heartbreaking because she's telling him, everything she didn't say when he was alive. Which we were watching this last night. My husband's like, he's not really dead. Isn't he still alive at the end of the movie? And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure he's not. Which he was not.
No. So then she goes over to the house and she like fogs up the window and draws a smiley face to show
Ty and Kayla.
Yeah, Ty and Kayla that she's still alive.
So then she
And
goes around to the back of the house and throws the walkie-talkie that Cole had up on the back deck.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite lines from the movie, and I'm gonna have to pull it back up because I don't want to get it wrong. There once was a little girl. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. When she was good, she was very good, but when she was bad, she was horrid. I love that quote. Love it.
Um, so she has the keys now, so she sets the car alarm off on like the van, which distracts Dominic.
And we only have Dominic left because Apex left and everybody else is dead.
Yes. And so Dominic, when he opens the van door to check if Becky's inside, he gets a face full of Diego.
Yeah, and I don't. We didn't mention this, and it's just something little, but he has like a bandage wrapped around his head over his blood.
Yes,
eye.
yeah.
Thank God they covered up his eye socket. But in the meantime, while he's out there, Kayla actually hobbles to the kitchen and gets a knife to cut her and Ty loose because they tied him up with duct tape.
And she does a pretty good job of keeping Ty calm the whole time this is happening.
Yeah. But she doesn't. I think he only has like one line in the whole entire movie. The rest of the time he's just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, and I think it's when he's talking to the dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Becky actually reveals she's in the other car, and she starts it up and crashes. She's trying to hit Dominic.
Before that, you were talking about Diego being in the van. She keeps, like, he'll shut the door, and then she'll open it again with the key fob. And then he'll shut the door, and she opens it again. And he's like, Becky, I know you're in there.
So Becky's trying to hit him. She misses, and she crashes her car into a tree. And
she knocks him over, though.
Yes. Because I think he jumps out of the way.
I think so.
And so the collision detection goes off in the car and automatically calls the police if there's been an accident. Which, again, I don't know if she did that on purpose, but if she did, that's smart to do that.
I don't think she did it on purpose, but just because I don't think she would have hurt herself on purpose.
Yeah.
But...
So then Dominic...
She's about a better driver than the girl in Age of Dinosaurs.
Well, the girl in Age of Dinosaurs didn't crash.
She ran out of gas.
So, Dominic's trying to find her, and she starts singing from the woods.
And it's a song that we heard earlier that she used to sing to her mom.
Or that her mom used to sing to her.
That's what I mean. Her mom used to sing to her.
And
I got the impression her mom passed away from cancer because of the way she had her hair wrapped and everything. So I think it was a pretty traumatic death to watch your mom go through that.
And so she leads him back to the fire pit where they were torturing her dad. And Dominic goes on this whole speech.
We see her go into a shed when she gets out of the car. And she gets a gas can in a super soaker.
Yeah. And so Dominic goes on this whole spiel of like, oh, we're both orphans, let me take you in. Like basically trying to bring her into his crew.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Do you think that was a real offer, or do you think he was going to betray her as soon as he could?
I think he was going to betray her. Who wants a 13-year-old girl hanging around?
She can do a lot of killing.
Well, I know, but I mean, legally, like...
Does he care? He escaped from prison.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean, like, it would be hard to explain how you had a daughter that you didn't... You know what I mean? Like, with her age... I don't know. I mean...
But he's already a criminal on the run. I don't think that would...
Well, I just think it would be a weird situation. But I think he was gonna...
Well, yeah, I think especially since she stabbed his eye out.
Yeah. He seems sincere.
Yeah. So she ends up... I don't know exactly what she says, but she ends up shooting the super soaker at him. And we find out it's full of gas, so it goes... It's cool, because she's on one side of the fire pit, he's on the other. So when she shoots it, the gas goes over the fire pit, catches on fire, then lands on him.
Yeah.
Which, in real life, I feel like...
I think he says something about we don't have time for games, and she says...
Yeah.
Like, maybe one.
Yeah.
Maybe one. Maybe that's a different movie.
That sounds like it's from this movie.
So... She's just so intelligent.
Yeah, but, again, like I said, it's kind of like a heightened universe. Kind of like Kick-Ass, where it's like, could someone really take all this and keep going? I feel like this is that kind of movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even like John Wick kind of thing.
Yeah. You kind of got to suspend your disbelief, because my thing was this one was he is covered in gas. He's on fire, and he lays down and rolls around in some hay, and it goes out. but
yeah,
he doesn't have any bone
that's what I was gonna
marks.
say. When we see him again, he looks the same as he did before.
I mean, the only thing different is I think his thing over his eyes gone.
I don't even remember
I
that.
think it is.
So yeah, like Mom said, he rolls around and puts himself out. Uh,
And
but
she,
they end up like wrestling.
yeah, she tries to run past him and he grabs her.
Yeah, and so they end up like wrestling on the ground, and he actually gets the upper hand, and he has the key. And I think he's getting ready to kill her. I don't know if he has the gun at this point or how.
Yeah, he's getting ready to shoot her.
But all of a sudden, he gets tackled from the side, and here comes Apex back.
See, I expected it to be Diego, like going after.
But Diego's still in the van because the van door got
No,
closed
that's
again.
true. That's true. But so it's Apex, like Dawson said.
And so I don't. He says something to her here, like I never meant for any of this or something like that. And so she ends up running away. And then she comes back out and she's driving a 4-wheeler with, I think it's like a lawnmower attachment on the back.
Yes, because I had to ask her what it was. Apex and Dominic are fighting this whole time.
Yes, they're like rolling around on the ground.
And Dominic, obviously, when Apex attacked him, he dropped his gun.
So it is. Did you ask Aaron about it?
Yeah,
it's a 4-wheeler with a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's kind of like it's like an industrial lawnmower kind of thing. I think. Like I want to say like a bush hog, but it's not really a bush hog.
So anyway, she ends up running over Dominic's head.
And that is such a gross scene.
It is.
You can see half of his brain
And I was kind of.
Which I was laughing when we watched it because Aaron's like, "Is Kevin James in the sequel?" And I'm like, pretty sure he's not in the sequel. That's what I was going to say.
I'm kind of surprised they killed him off if they were planning on doing a sequel.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they do.
Have you looked to see what the sequel's about?
No, and I don't really want to know. I'd rather go into it blind.
I just read like the little
synopsis.
On IMDb.
Well, and I did too whenever I found out, because I'm the one that told you that there was a second one, and I read it whenever I told you that, but I've since forgotten because it's been a while, and I'd rather go into it not knowing.
Yeah.
So
Becky goes back over to Apex.
Yeah.
And he's kind of trying to apologize to her.
Yeah, and she just picks up the gun and shoots him in the head, and it's very anticlimactic, but not in like an anticlimactic way.
Right.
Like it's very what's the word?
She's very jaded.
No, not that. I mean, like, yes, I agree with that, but I mean it's very like not like quick, but it's like that, like turt or something. What word am I thinking of?
Curt?
Is that it?
I mean that means quick and short.
I think that's what I was trying to say. I don't know.
And then we finally see some emotion from Becky.
This is not the word I was thinking of, but it's just like, it's very abrupt.
Yeah.
Like, he's still talking and she pulls a gun up and shoots him.
Yeah. But then we finally see emotion because she starts screaming.
Yes. And Kayla and Ty come outside. They let Diego out of the van, and then they join Becky, like, on the ground. I think her back's, like, against the garage.
Yeah. She's sitting by the shed she went in. And
then we're back at the beginning of the movie where we see Becky being interrogated.
And I mentioned that it was a Canadian quarter earlier because they're like, well, what can you tell us about the man in the orange camouflage? And she's like, he was looking for a Canadian quarter. Is that what you want to know?
And the whole time she's saying this, she's got the key out. She's playing with it in her hand.
Yeah. So I love this movie. I really hope that we get answers in the sequel. What was the key for? Why was it at the house?
And I told you this. The sequel is rated higher on both Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb than the first one, which I don't know, maybe Terminator 2 or something, but I've never really like seen that before.
Yeah. So actually, now that we've done our episode, I really want to watch the second one.
And we'll probably do an episode on it, but I wanted to wait to watch it till after we did the episode, so it's not like tainted by what we saw in that movie.
And it is the same girl plays Becky in the second one.
And I know it's years in the future. I mean, not like
I think it's like 2 years.
Yeah.
But she's either been adopted or she's in foster care. I think she's been adopted.
I knew that much.
Basically, that's what the synopsis says. Yeah. I can tell you a little bit more, but it's basically the same thing. It's like she's a vigilante.
Yeah, but we might do an episode on that eventually, but not next week, because next week is our games.
Yeah.
So, games and then the Leprechaun movies.
Which...
We are doing
y'all have Dawson to blame for the Leprechaun movies.
I love them. They're so funny. Um, the ones we're doing are the original Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 4 in space, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun back to the Hood. Is that all of them?
That's 6. Yes, we're
Yeah.
doing 6.
Yep. Yep. That's right.
So we're doing
Because
2
we're
each
not
week.
we're not doing Leprechaun Origins or Leprechaun Returns. So that's it. Those 6, and we're doing 2 every week in March, except the first week is games.
Yeah. So stay tuned. That's gonna be fun.
You don't sound too excited.
It's just I'm not sure about the
Which
Leprechaun movies.
I'm pretty sure it's her first role, but I don't know for a fact. But Jennifer Aniston is in the first Leprechaun, and she is not a great actress. But it's funny because if you look at, I think we talked about this on the podcast before, but if you look at the promotional material, they're like toting it as like, oh, she's in this, oh, she's in this, but she's not even like.
Well, it's like the one we talked about, The Dead Don't Die. That's
Yeah.
Selena Gomez, like starring Selena Gomez, and she's in it for maybe 10 minutes of the whole movie, if that. But yeah, so I highly recommend Becky. I will say, I say this a lot on movies, that it's not one you have to sit down and watch, but like you can kind of do other stuff. This one is so intense, I think you need to actually sit down and be in this movie.
I don't even know if technically it's considered horror in online communities. It's definitely got horror elements in it, but I think most people consider this like a thriller. But
his eyeball's awfully horrible.
Or I don't know if thriller is even the right, but anyway, it's really good.
It is, and
if Mayhem is considered horror, then this is also horror.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, there's nothing supernatural. There's nothing like Mayhem was a virus. So there's nothing like.
It's just people.
Right. Well, I don't know what the word is. There's nothing like outside the realm of possibility in this movie. Like,
it's realistic.
Yeah. Thank you. That's the word. Like, it's like
grounded.
Well, everybody knows I read a lot of horror books, and the ones that bother me the most are something that could really happen now.
Or like spoilers, the Bender's episode of Supernatural.
Yeah. But now, granted, like I said, we don't know what the key's for, and it just so happens that was the weekend they were at the cabin and all that, so things had to fall into place, right? But somebody could show up at our front door tomorrow and with guns, and I mean, I don't have any hidden keys, but and just the fact that there's people like that out there in the world is scary to me. So to me, it is horror. It's just more real life horror than some of the other stuff we've talked about.
And like I said, I would consider this horror. I was just saying, in a lot of the online communities, this movie's touted as like, I think more of like an action kind of thing. I think it was action, but I think it was like something action.
Thriller action.
Yeah.
But highly recommend this one.
Hopefully the sequel is just as good.
If you are a fan of Kevin James, completely different role for him, but I do think he nailed it.
Well, it's like people talk about that movie Jim Carrey did. Why am I blanking?
Truman Show?
Mm-hmm. Where he plays like a serious character.
Yeah.
Like, and people are surprised about how good he was in that. Or who was the other one? There's another one that people talk about a lot. Maybe it might be Will Ferrell in that one movie.
I didn't know he ever did anything serious.
It's still, I think people still consider it a comedy, but Stranger Than Fiction. He plays more. He kind of plays more of like a grounded kind of guy, like a down to earth kind of guy.
Yeah. So, highly recommend this one. Check it out. We will. I'm sure sometime this year we'll get to the Wrath of Becky, which is what the second one's called. Because I want to go watch it now.
And like we said, we moved Hatchet back, but we'll do that later this year at some point.
So, I think that's it.
And again, if there's any movie you want to see us cover, let us know in the comments, because we would love to take some suggestions and do some stuff that neither of us have seen.
The only caveat I have with that, and you know this, is I don't do anything with a lot of sexual stuff.
Yeah, I don't really either, though.
No recommendations where it's like watching a dirty movie.
Yeah.
Because that's just not my kind of movie. It never has been. But yeah, let us know if you've got any suggestions. And
we don't want to be sitting here watching like May Chan's Daily Life.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a prostitute girl, except she can heal from anything, so they do all kinds of vile things to her.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't want that.
No.
But yeah, let us know. We will see you next week for games.
Yep.